Damn.
Anything for you.
Get here and click on that.
Yeah, but actually, yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay. Because I called, I said, why do you want to do this if it's going to just be for 3 months?
Just announce when you're
For the time that might be in the news here, okay, then.
correction DE.
Let's see if I,
All right.
right now I'm on the down.
It's 2026.
On here.
Right.
If
Once I get my software updated, because I don't have the ability to amend
Okay.
that.
See, now this is, and if I would have figured it out this morning, I could have just done this and sent it over to. On the pad, yeah, no.
Right in the.
Uh-huh.
Some you go to a lot of chambers and they'll have
Ow.
Never say never.
Melvindale's city chamber is,
The historical
that part of it is really
on
nice.
a Thursday.
There's other parts of it that's really bad.
I've been in their city hall, but never in their chamber.
So
Can we paint this a different color?
education.
Yeah.
Several years. But they said the blue.
At one time,
What?
this was red.
Is it really? I
And
don't
it
know
was
that.
really disgusting.
Oh no, I left
This
it.
is just
It was like blood red.
It has not
Oh, 'cause
left
it's
the building
fake
yet.
brick.
Yeah. It's fake brick.
Hi again, Carlo. Good.
I'm not, blue's okay. And a navy blue.
It's not bad when you
They
enjoy
call
it.
that the blue room. So it's J we take off and I we leave on. It's J that we take off and I that we leave on. No, we wasn't sure when. When is this one? Take the eye out. I know where to put it now. I saw it. What number? What letter is it? actually heard from Papolis today, and they asked me, "Just pull up." I said, "No, we're not going to. We'll have our meeting afterwards, but we're not going to either. However negotiations go, we're not renting it anymore, leasing it anymore." So. 1605.
Quite a while. At a table up on the front stage.
That sounds good. It's been around longer than the city.
That's what I was realizing.
I guess I was the first city official.
Yeah, well, that's pretty old. That thing's been there a while.
Turning point.
Well, what's interesting
I think some of those are closed, like, I think St.
It
Henry's.
was very good. Very, the judges did a real good
Yeah,
job.
the St. Henry's, they recently, the church that bought it has been renovating it, and they had all their chairs stolen and all their instruments and a bunch of electrical.
All 17.
I saw that article.
Yeah. Well, that's the only church that's.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the council meeting. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if Reverend Edward would give us the invocation.
Let's bow our heads. Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity to come together to discuss the business of this city, Lord. I ask that you just bless these proceedings, Lord, that you help guide our conversations to be civil and just, and that it will be for the good of Lincoln Park, and that we can do it in your name, Lord. We just invite your Holy Spirit into this place today. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Councilpersons Bear?
Here.
Dupre? Is absent. Ross? Here. Salcido?
Here.
Zor?
Here.
Tobin?
Here.
And Mayor Higgins.
Here. You may notice in front of our the council and myself, we have new computers. So please, this is our first time with them, so please be nice and understand it's going to be an experiment for us tonight. But I'm sure it's going to work out. I'm sure it's going to be better. This was a very fun week for me. We had the 10th annual swim reunion at the high school, and then I was back at the high school the next night for the Addams Family Play, which was the kids put on a fantastic play. Just amazing how much talent we have at that high school. We also had a quiet meeting to discuss candidates for the city manager's position, and we'll be dealing with that a little bit later on in the agenda packet. I'd like to remind everybody that the Historical Museum is having a fundraiser on Thursday, April 25th. It will be at the high school. It's a band. There's a band. There is dinner. There is
Silent auction.
silent auction. That was the word I was looking for. Silent auction, and special guest Bill Morrison. And if you're unfamiliar with Bill Morrison, he is a Lincoln Parker who just happens to have been the editor for Mad Magazine and artist for The Simpsons. Amongst other things, in the comic book world, he is a god. So please welcome back to Bill Morrison into Lincoln Park. Also, I have a couple other few announcements I'd like to make. If you are living around or you happen to be around the Ecorse Creek, you may be noticing some drones flying over. It's not something that we have to worry about. The Ecorse Creek is going to be flown from one end to the other with drones. It is the first step of the major cleanup process that is on its way. There's more information coming on that. I have one other special thing I would like to announce tonight, and that is we have a hero amongst us. Michael Rucker was on the expressway coming home, and there was a very, very bad accident. And, you know, you could drive by those accidents and you could just go on home. This man, he stopped, he got out of his car. There was a lady who was in very, very bad shape. He reached into the car, got them out, and kept them alive until EMS could get there. He used what he learned in the military and learned his instincts, and he hasn't forgotten what being a hero is. And I preach all the time about volunteerism and about being part of a community person, and this is exactly what I talk about when I talk about a community person, somebody who stands up and does the right thing. And I would like to bring him forward, and I would like to give him the key of the city. Please come forward. Thank you very much. You are very much appreciated. And your turn.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. You're on your way home from work.
Thank you.
Well done, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now it's time we're going to start getting tricky with our new computers. Oop, went too far. Oop.
Back the other way. Because those are the minutes. There you go. One more. There you go.
All right. Resolve that the following items listed under the consent agenda be approved as presented by the mayor and council. Approval of the regular meetings on March 11th, 2024. Approve the minutes in the closed session of March 18th, 2024. Approve the accounts and claims payable. Attend training for evidence for the technology for the police department. Attend training for the rifle instructor for the police department. Attend training for the financial planning for the police department. Attend training for the RAID interview and interception for the police department. Attend training for the MAACO conference from the police department. We're going to schedule a meeting for city manager interview. No, I'm sorry. We're pulling I, which would be the scheduling for city manager interview, and we are going to schedule and set a special meeting for the city manager candidate.
I'll move.
Support.
I'll call for the vote.
Before we do that, I want to make an announcement that there is also a correction that needs to be made to E. The rifle instructor training had the wrong date for his certification ending. It'll be 2026, not 2024. Okay? It was a typo. Okay. Councilpersons Bear,
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Soar?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to have the city manager read the next information on the next information.
Thank you, Mayor. The subject of this resolution is for the 50th program year for the 24-25 CDBG budget. A public hearing was held on Monday, February 26, 2024, to hear requests on the 50th CDBG budget and receive public comment. Since we have not yet received our grant allocation, we are using last year's amount. It is necessary to adopt the budget so the annual action plan can be submitted to HUD. Normally, that would be submitted by May 1st. However, the draft is complete. It must be posted for public comment for 30 days. If you would like changes to the proposed budget, it can be done on the floor. The budget impact is the anticipated community development block grant from HUD for FY 24-25 is $745,716. It's recommended that the CDBG budget be approved.
Resolved, the following proposed budget is hereby adopted for the 50th program year of the Community Development Block Grant Program beginning July 1st, 2024. Under Public Services, Blessed Hope Food Bank, $2,000. For the Community Policing and Crime Awareness, $62,000. First Step Dominic's Domestic Violence, $10,000. The Guidance Center, $10,000. The Senior Alliance, $3,046. St. Michael's Blessing Box, $15,600. Under Infrastructure, Demolition, $150,000. The Fire Department, $58,250. Parks and Recreation, $120,000. Streets and Utilities, $314,820. That's a total of $7,407.16.
No,
I'm sorry.
$745,716.
$7.16. Sorry, folks. Okay. Plus the projected rehab refunding fund income of $60,000. It's projected to the housing improvement of $120,000. Be it further resolved that the city receives any higher allocations, it will go to the streets and utilities, and if lower, it will be taken from the Community Policing Crime Awareness.
I'll move.
Support.
Any questions? Anyone wants to make changes? Then
Through the chair, I have a question. I don't see community policing crime awareness on here.
It's under public services.
It's under Public Services.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm
It's the
seeing.
second on the list. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
To the chair,
yes.
just a comment. I would like to recognize, Doreen Christian as our CDBG director and all our hard work she put into it, and the Community Improvement Commission that came up with this draft budget. It's a very important piece of what the city is able to do, and I certainly appreciate their work.
Yeah, the CIC worked very hard on this and very much appreciated him. With that, I will call for the vote.
Councilpersons Ross?
Yes.
Tobin?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Soar?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins.
Yes. The next will be the contract for the chiefs. And again, I'm going to lean on the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. As you're aware, we have been working with the chiefs and the deputy chief on negotiations for their contract that expired January 1st. At the direction of mayor and council, we were able to come up to a tentative agreement recently. The major components of the agreement are year one, the wages are increased January 1st, 24 to be more comparable to surrounding communities. Year two, the wages increased 4%. Year three, wages increased 4%. It would be one additional personal day. There's some language in there for the police and deputy chief at retirement or termination to change the maximum payout to match the fire chief's contract. We added the deferred retirement option plan, the DROP plan. Benefits at death were changed to pay out accumulated vacation time to their beneficiary to the maximum allowable under the contract. And the police and deputy chief, the gun allowance increased to 5%, and the fire chief emergency manager allowance to 5%. The first year signifies the largest increase of the contract at $40,535. Year 2 is $14,039, and year 3 at $14,600. It's a total of $69,175 over the 3-year term. It is recommended that the mayor and council approve the attached resolutions for the chiefs and deputy chief.
I'll move.
Oh, we gotta be resolved that the mayor and city council approve the attached contract with the fire chief, Michael Prinz, and be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk are authorized to execute this agreement on behalf of the city of Lincoln Park.
I'll support.
Through the chair, Your Honor, question.
Yes.
Because, it says the duration, it says it shall be effective the first day of January, but nowhere do I see retroactive. So if they're without a contract, did they receive the 3 holidays in January and February? Or,
No.
because I don't see the word retroactive, it's just the.
The wages are retroactive, yeah, because the contract started January 1st, so we owe them the difference between what they've
That's what I'm
received and what they
saying,
were
it's-
due.
So they're going to get that as
Yes.
soon as we sign this.
Yeah, we don't typically put language in the contracts to specify the retro, because it goes by the date of the contract.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hearing nothing else, I'll call for the vote.
Councilpersons Tobin,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
and Mayor Higgins.
Be resolved that the mayor and the city council approve the attached contract for the police chief, Scott Leyes, and be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute this agreement on behalf of the city of Lincoln Park.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Through the chair, Your Honor, question,
Yes.
if you don't mind. And I ask these questions because it's, we read these contracts, and it's vital that the citizens also know this. In regards to bereavement, it says if the funeral occurs over 250 miles away or an unusual hardship case, an additional 2 days shall be granted. Proof of attendance, blah, 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 and all that stuff. Are those paid days or unpaid days?
Bereavement's paid days off.
So those, anything over 250 miles away is paid, because it doesn't say paid, it just says additional days.
Yeah,
So-
they're considered additional bereavement days, so they would be paid.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hearing nothing else, I call for the vote.
Councilpersons Ross,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
and Mayor Higgins.
Yes. Be resolved that the mayor and council approve the attached contract for deputy chief Patrick Coulter, and be it further resolved that the mayor and city clerk authorized to execute this agreement on behalf of the city of Lincoln Park.
I'll move.
Support.
Hearing nothing, we call for the vote.
Councilpersons Tobin,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
and Mayor Higgins.
Yes. Resolved that the city attorney hereby requested to be prepared documents to terminate the lease between the city of and the Papalis family concerning the land commonly referred to as Papalis Park, located amongst Monty Street near Applewood Avenue.
I'll move.
Support.
Hearing nothing, we'll call for the vote.
Councilpersons Bear,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
and Mayor Higgins.
Yes. Whereas some commissioners and board members have been appointed to their positions for many years and may no longer be attending meetings regularly or be otherwise eligible to serve. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the city clerk shall review the board and commissions list to determine if some members may be chronically absent and/or are no longer eligible to serve, necessitating the need for removal. Be it further resolved that the findings of the city clerk shall be presented to the city council on April 8th, 2024.
I'll move.
Well,
We
we
have-
actually had a mover on that.
We have a mover, but we need a supporter because Tracy had been the supporter and she's not here tonight. So if you would support.
I'll support.
Okay. And I have some questions on this. We have a policy on this where any board can remove a member if they're missed three meetings in a row. So I'm not sure why this was brought up, but, so just letting people know that we do have a policy that does pertain to this. And I do know that the CIC recently took out one of the members on just this very similar thing. So we may need to remind our department heads when dealing with commissions that they can do this. But if there's any other questions?
To the chair.
Yes.
Just a comment, when I was chair of the Parks and Recs Commission, we did go through the process of removing a commissioner that was chronically absent. And I will say the process did take quite a while to try to line up the timing of, at that time, we were having a hard time making quorum, so then we couldn't make any official resolutions, and then we had to do the resolution, submit the letter to the Parks and Rec director, and then have it come back to council. So it did take a little bit of time. So I don't know if streamlining it to one person reviewing it might speed up that process a little bit.
I don't think hurting a review of everybody would hurt anything, but I just want to let everybody know that there is a process. Lillian, I think you were next.
Actually, Jason touched on that. I was just curious if this was supposed to help that process along.
Have any?
No, I just think that time to time it's good for us to do house cleaning and to look into what's going on with our commissions to make sure that we are doing our due diligence to make sure everything is in order.
Any further? Okay, without that, I will call for a vote.
Councilpersons Tobin?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Salcido?
Yes.
Soar?
Yes.
And Mayor Higgins?
Yes. Okay, well, I'll have the building department manager come up at this point, director.
Is this one and the next one?
The resolution is to amend the City of Lincoln Park's vacant registration fees. When a property has remained vacant, they become unattractive nuisance for minors and criminal activities. Vacant properties have a negative impact on the surrounding properties and neighborhoods. Potential buyers are deterred by the presence of nearby vacant abandoned buildings. The strategy plan of 2022 commissioned the cleanup of the business district. This would be the third phase to register and maintain vacant properties. This fee change is intended to also stimulate the lease or selling or the opening of new viable businesses, therefore reducing long-term vacant properties. The financial impact is nothing on the city at this time, and it is the recommendation that the mayor and council amend the vacant registration fee to $250 every 180 days for the first year that it is vacant, and $350 every 180 days for the second year it is vacant, and for each year moving forward.
Fees from time to time and place on the Lincoln Park fee schedule. Therefore, it be resolved that the vacant registration fee be amended to $150 to $250 every 100 days for the first year, and 350 every 180 days for the second year, and each year moving forward. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council amend the vacant property registration fees and post them in the city Lincoln Park fee schedule.
I'll move for discussion.
I'll support.
John, can I ask where you came up with the numbers for that?
Out of my head, first of all, but the present fee schedule has been set since 2014 at $150 every 180 days and every 180 days going forward. However, we have looked at 3 or 4 other cities within the region of similar that have implemented such. We have skipped Detroit because theirs is astronomical, but I think the most recent other neighborhood or community nearby was either Groseal. No, they just created another one that they've had for 3 years that is $800 a year. And our neighboring town of Ecorse has recently passed theirs for $800 a year. So I went below that, but progressively inspiring people to do something with their buildings, to get them back on the market, to stimulate a reason for us not leaving our vacant businesses. Right now, we have, as of last Friday that I checked, 97 vacant business buildings in our properties. And so we need to find a way that out of those 97, we think we have about 39 of them that have been vacant for over 10 years. And somewhere along the line, we have to find a way to encourage owners to activate the use of these buildings and make them available to viable businesses. So we borrowed several cities, one of them obviously Detroit, we've eliminated because they are insane.
Through the chair?
And John, we can set the fees where we want on this. There's no state numbers.
There
or
is no
we can-
state number at all.
So if the city council decides at this point, if we want to go higher, we can.
You can.
Okay. Lillian, you're next.
Or maybe just give it a couple years and then go higher if we're not seeing the results that we're looking for. But my question to you, Mr. Myers, is this going to also apply to the vacant homes?
Correct.
Okay, perfect.
So, but you could think of if you're looking at extensions, it might not take 3, but if you decided that you're going to go the 3rd year that it's been left vacant, you increase that year as well, instead of increasing all the numbers for every year. So instead of it being 250 and 300, you might want to go 250, 300, and 400 on the 3rd year. That would give them a reason to be planning a strategy to find a way to use their building. But that's the intent, that's the idea, and we're trying to find a way to clean up this last part of our business districts based off of our 22 strategical plan to clean up our businesses.
Through the chair, Your Honor, one
Yes.
quick question, probably maybe not even be in your realm to answer this, but are they everyone up to date on all these properties in regards to taxes?
No, they're not all up to date.
Would that be a question for our assessor one day, just stop in and see?
Yes, and he would take a few minutes to actually process it, but that would be a more taxing, pardon the pun, project.
All right, thank you.
Then I would like to make a motion to add the 3rd year go up to 450.
I'll second that.
Mr. Kudarak would like to speak?
Hi, John.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
In the meantime, Your Honor, if I could ask you a question.
Good evening, Mayor, Council Richard
One second,
Kudrak.
Mr. Kudarak, we could, the
I'm sorry.
councilman would like to speak.
I was just curious if that's going to be for the 3rd year and
Then it would,
moving forward
moving forward.
from there. So 4th, 5th, 6th.
At that year, we
Okay.
can
Okay.
start looking again.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Kudarak.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding. I see no differentiation between a buildable lot and a non-buildable lot. Are you really going to charge somebody $250 every 6 months for a lot they can't even build on because it doesn't meet size requirements? I think you need to specify, what are you talking about? And if it's just a vacant lot, what do you want them to do? Just keep it clean? Because you can't build anything on some of these lots. How about a little more clarification of size of the lot, and what you're going to do about it. Thank you.
John, would you clear up the
I
minutes?
can. The resolution is about business or buildings. If it's a vacant lot, we're not asking for that change. We never do. We don't charge a fee for a vacant lot. We do charge fees for vacant businesses and vacant buildings as residential. So it would be the actual structure that could be used that isn't being used because it's been on hold for a long period of time by its owner.
Through the chair.
Yes.
If surrounding communities are charging $800 for these vacant structures, and we have 39 of them in our city that have been there 10 years and nobody has done anything with this and they're not keeping up with these dues, why are we charging so little and not enforcing them to do something with them? This is a blight on our city. There is no movement in 10 years. I think that we need to be more diligent. We need to change the aspect of our city. We need to make growth happen. I think that this is too lenient. And that's just my opinion. I think that if they just want to leave empty buildings here and do nothing with them, or if they're using these buildings for a purpose other than a business that's going to generate something for our city, for our residents, that they're doing it personally for them, then we need to do something to change it. And we need to do it now, because we're not doing anything to make this city a better place. And I think this is way too lenient. And if other cities around us are charging $800 and we're charging $250 and $350 and $450 in 3 years, these other cities around us in 3 years are going to be charging a lot more than $800. So that's just opening people to come here and do the same thing.
To the chair,
Yes.
Maureen?
Well, Maureen, you were
Those-
done?
I am now.
Okay.
Those fees are once every 180 days, so you can approximately double that for the per year.
Are the other cities, John, through the chair?
Because John was giving
Are they
annual
$800 a year or
numbers.
$800 on, every 180 days?
A year.
A
So-
year, okay, I'm sorry then, okay.
They're on a year.
Yeah, I just think that it's time that we put a stop to this and we get these businesses to sell or become part of our community again.
And I've had meetings with John, and that's part of the reason this has come forward, is we've had meetings with, not with John, but also the department heads, talking about what we can do to spur people moving on some of their property.
If I had, Mayor, if I had one more item, we're working presently with the legal department now to have some wording changed for our ordinance of our vacant businesses. This is easily done without changing any ordinance, but right now we're going to submit to you in the future a request that when we do registration and they come and register, that our inspection no longer will be remaining on the outside of the building, which it is presently, but we'll be allowed to take a look at these buildings on the inside and be able to determine whether or not they've been actually being used for something they're not permitted to be used for. But right now, we only see the outside of the building on a vacant registration. But to do that, we need to bring a resolution to the council to change the verbiage of our ordinance.
Through the chair?
Yes.
If these buildings aren't in compliance with this, or haven't been in compliance with the fees prior to us changing this, what happens to them? I mean, if they're not paying what's enforceable now, I mean, is this going on their tax rolls?
Right now, the ordinance grants us the right to cite them in front of the court for violating our rule of compliance.
Any other questions?
Through the chair,
Yes?
if I may. So, Mr. Myers, this in light of the Clinton Township explosion.
Yes.
That's
That-
great. I'm glad to see that, because even though property may be registered vacant, that doesn't mean that the owner isn't using it for storage.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good.
But since we can't enter it, we can't verify or claim it.
Any further questions? Then I will call for the vote.
Okay, first we're going to do the amendment by Mayor Higgins and supported by Councilwoman Tobin to add the wording for the third year at $450 every 180 days and each year moving forward. So, Mayor Higgins?
Yes.
Councilpersons Tobin,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
And Zor.
Yes.
Okay, so that passed. So then the final resolution will read, whereas the mayor and council shall set fees from time to time in place on the Lincoln Park fee schedule, therefore be it resolved that the vacant registration fee be amended from $150 to $250 every 180 days for the first year, $50 every 180 days for the second year, $450 every 180 days for the third year and each year moving forward. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council amend the vacant property registration fee and post that on the City of Lincoln Park fee schedule.
Move.
Councilpersons Ross,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Salcido.
Yes.
Zor,
Yes.
Tobin,
Yes.
and Mayor Higgins.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and I believe you are next on the agenda.
Mayor and councilors, the next resolution is to award the bid for planning services for the city of Lincoln Park. On December 18th, 2023, the mayor and council authorized the city to solicit bids for the planning and zoning services. The bids were opened on January 24th, 2023. The two consulting firms that submitted applications were McKenna and Griffin and Webster. Interviews were held with both firms by Lisa Griggs and John Myers. The budget impact will be met through the service fees scheduled in and of the building department. It is recommended that the mayor and council award the planning and zoning services of Griffin and Webster.
Whereas the mayor and council passed a resolution on December 18th, 2023 to authorize bidding process for the planning and zoning consultant, therefore be it resolved that Giffords Webster Group be awarded the contract for planning and zoning consulting services for the city of Lincoln Park. The bid process was a 3-year contract, and an interview was held with each applicant by Lisa Griggs and John Myers. Now therefore be resolved that the mayor and city clerk